everybody. It's John, your Indian Cine-MANIAC, with another 10ish-minute review. That's right. This is going to be an actual 10ish-minute review of one of the viewer choices that you guys picked in the community poll I gave. And since the last Aamir Khan movie I did left a bad taste in my mouth, I asked you guys what's an Aamir Khan film that I should watch. And overwhelmingly, it was Sarfarosh from 1999. And I want to thank a couple of people. One, I don't know who the name is because it was sent to Drew. But Wolverine Pagan Wolverine Pagan is actually sending me a disc of the film. But Drew got it to me already, so I watched it last night. So I'm still going to watch the DVD to see if there's any extra stuff on it. But thank you for you guys who do that, because sometimes the movies you pick we can't get. Now, as far as Mirzapur goes, I have watched 5 episodes of season 2, and I'm gonna do those reviews tomorrow. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. I might do 2 and then 3, because I really want to start watching the rest of these. I have to tell you, though, the second season's a little slow and a little soap opera-ish compared to the first season. I still like it. I'm still invested in the characters, but I just want you to know that up front. So I'm gonna be recording that tomorrow. Okay. So let's talk about Sarfarosh from 1999. It was directed by John Mathew Matthan in his directorial debut, and it stars Khan, who I don't have to tell you, you already know, huge fan of his, love his movies. Didn't like the last one I saw, but it did. Naseeruddin Shah, who was in A Wednesday and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen that I've seen him in. Sonali Bendre, Mukesh Rishi, and Akash Khurana, who was in Barfi. So this is a very young Aamir Khan. This is before Lagaan. So he's still, it was funny for me to watch this movie because he's so young. He's got that great head of hair, which as he got older, he didn't have it. Okay. So to see him with that big black hair, he's also not quite yet the Aamir Khan he became, his acting style. He's still really good in this movie, but not quite what I have come to know. Because I have to tell you, Naseeruddin Shah, I think, stole this movie. He was so good in this, in his role of the singer slash bad guy. And he was a bad guy. So it opens up with a song. And the song was interesting. It was a camel caravan with guns in the saddles. And the song was Light the Flames of Patriotism. So this movie, the story, let's talk about the story. It has to do with terrorism. And again, it's the Pakistan, India, what happened after the partition. And from what I gather, and you correct me when I'm wrong, and you know you always do, and I appreciate that. But the terrorists are from Pakistan, and there's a whole, and Khan does this, and I guess Shah does this too. But the way they talk about it, and I don't know the politics of it. I'm saying this as someone who doesn't know the politics, but it's almost like. And you know what they say, another man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter, right? But they're almost justifying terrorism because of all the bad things that happened after the countries were partitioned. And that's a thread throughout this movie, especially at the end, which I'll get to. But basically the story is this. There's a terrorist attack, and it's an opening scene too. There's a bus with a wedding party, and the terrorists come out of the jungle and mow them all down. And that's where you meet the head terrorist, Vareen, who's from Pakistan, I guess. So then you meet Aamir Khan. Actually, he's not in the first like 20 minutes of the film, but you finally meet him. And what happens to him? His father gets kidnapped by these terrorists. Because I think he's a lawyer. I think that's what he is. He's a lawyer. and his brother's also a lawyer, and they're going to work. Terrorists grab the father, they knock the brother over and kill him. So now Khan's father, or AJ's father, is kidnapped and the brother's dead. So they do the funeral. This is how it starts. And then they bring the father back, but he's like basically a zombie, a vegetable. He can stand, but he can't speak. He's kind of gone. Now they also introduce Seema during this, and there's the second song of the movie is and it was weird the way it was shot. They shot it with that gauze in front of the screen, the cinematography during the song, with him and Seema, and it's a love song where they first meet in Delhi. And by the way, this actress, I've never seen her before. She was beautiful. She was gorgeous, and some of the outfits they put her in weren't very Indian like. Like she had this one flowered skirt that was like a mini skirt. And there's a joke about it too in the movie, which I thought was funny. So now they get the father back, but now they're going to move to Mumbai. They want to get away from it, and that's when he ends up. He was going to be a doctor. Now he's going to be a cop. He takes the exam, which I know from 12th fail, and he becomes the assistant commissioner of police, Rathod, in Mumbai, and he wants to figure out who kidnapped his father, who killed his brother. And so the story basically is around, is he going to get the people who did this? Is he going to be able to stop the terrorists who are bringing in guns to India from Pakistan using these camels? And is he going to figure out who the bad guy is, the real bad guy? Because there's a guy in here named Sultan, and I'm not sure the actor's name, but he was in Lagaan too, and he was a good bad guy. And they go after these guys a few times. They almost catch them, and then they get away. And there's another cop in here named Salim. Now, this actor, who I believe is Mukesh Rishi, normally plays bad guys. And this was one of the first times he got to play a positive role model, and he was good. This guy's a big dude, but he's Muslim. So, of course, he's taking abuse because he's a Muslim, and he just wants to do the right thing for India. But that's a thread that also plays through, and it puts him at odds with Khan's character, but they end up working together. so, then there's this whole side story with Shah's character, Gulfam, I think his name was Gulfam, who's a famous singer, and Aamir's character had a tape of one of his first songs, so that's how they kind of got connected. And he plays a role throughout this whole thing, and he seems like a really nice guy till you find out he's the guy that's in charge of this whole thing. He's the one getting the guns to give to Vareen, the head terrorist, to fight in India. Okay, and then so it's the it's the way Khan's character. I have a question about the police here, because this is a special unit of the police, and he's the assistant commissioner of police, but he's never, ever in the entire film in a police uniform. In fact, the only one who is on his team is Salim. The only time you see someone in his team in a police uniform is Salim. Everyone else is in regular clothes the whole movie. So I didn't quite get that. Is because in movies like Singham, that universe, they all wear uniforms, and they don't in this. So I thought that was kind of different. But the last scene, which is a great scene, that they go at the bad guy's fort, the singer, Gulfam, and he kind of tricks him into killing another guy so they can arrest him. But and it's beautifully shot. The support police show up. They say we'll be there in 5 minutes, and they literally take 5 minutes. But the shot, they point outside the fort, and you see all the headlights. It's a really, really cool shot. But now, Aamir's character AJ and Gulfam, played by Shah, they have this monologue as he's going to arrest them, and it really is about the whole Pakistan and India partition, where Shah's character is saying all the things that happened when this partition happened, how poorly they were treated, how they lost their place where they lived. It went on and on and on. Then Khan spoke. And it was funny the way his monologue was, yeah, it was awful. They shouldn't have done this. They shouldn't have done that. It affected everybody. And he went down basically the same list that Shaw did, but then turns around and turns it into a positive spin about India. So I found that kind of interesting, the politics of that in that particular monologue. But then, now Gulfam, the big thing, his claim to fame is his voice. That's his tool. Well, at the end of this movie, spoilers, he's not going to get arrested. And what he does is he impales himself on a bayonet right through his throat, his singing voice, and that is his tool. And he dies. But I thought Shah was really really good in this movie. And the story, I like the story. I mean, it was a story of revenge. It was a story of how do I track this guy down? How they were able to stay one step ahead of the police. Um, Khan's relationship with his family and uh, Seema. How can I forget her? She's so beautiful. Um, and then at the end, I'm sorry. After the monologue, he said, "You have brought dishonor to Muslim and India." So, but at the very end, they're at the airport, and it just seems like the movie's ending. Well, then someone comes over to Khan's character and says, "We know," because at this point, nothing happens to Vareen. All right, he's got all the terrorist guys in the jungle somewhere, but there's never any accountability. Well, at the very end of this, someone says, "We know where Vareen is," and then there's this shot where the five of them are walking through the airport. Khan's got his jacket on his shoulder, and that's where it ends. Now, I assume there was going to be a sequel to this, and that's what they were setting up, but no sequel was made. I was kind of surprised by that. Now, I also read that they're talking about doing a sequel now with John Abraham playing that character of AJ. I don't know why they wouldn't use Khan unless he just doesn't want to do it. But overall, I would say I'd give the story uh, out of five. I'll give it a three. I'm going to give it a three. Um, the acting, I thought the acting was fine. I thought Khan was as good as always, a little more raw than what I'm used to seeing. But, I mean, you compare him to some of the other people. I mean, he's levels above them. But to me, I thought the best performance was Shah. I thought he was wonderful in this. The way he was playing both sides, and what he needed to get nasty. I mean, he has one scene where he's again monologuing about being taken away from his home, and it goes on for I don't know a few minutes to a goat, and 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 he makes it work. Okay, so figure that one out. But he, when he needed to be evil, he was. When he needed to pretend to be good, he was. I thought his was the best performance, even better than Khan's. Although I like Khan, and frankly, Khan carried the film because Shah isn't in it that much. But when he's in it, compare him to any of the other actors other than Aamir Khan. I mean, it's I mean, it's really really good. Um, so I'm going to give the acting a four, really based on those two, on the two leads. The music, look, there were a lot of musical numbers in this. Okay, there was one song. Oh yeah, the third love song. So they had a bunch of love songs, right? But now in Mumbai they do a love song, and what I was laughing about is AJ during the song is reading Mad Magazine, which was something as a kid we all read. Then the fourth song, because there was five songs in this movie. The fourth song is at a surprise birthday party for his character, and and the music, it was like 50s music because they're literally doing the twist. He's out there. He's out there doing the twist. I've never seen that in Indian movie. And he's like, da da da. And the music was kind of strange. But then it transforms to this other number outside. And it was really beautiful because their outfits, Seema and AJ's outfits changed color, matching colors. It started with white, then it went to red, then yellow, and then blue. And it was really, really beautifully shot. I like that. And then the last number was interesting. It was at the fort where Gulfam was, and he was throwing a party there, and they've got all these dancers, like they look like belly dancers to me, all dancing, but they intercut it with the camel caravan, bringing the guns in to the fort. So I thought that was a really cool scene. So the music, I'm going to give it a three. I'm not none of the songs really stood out for me. I thought they were beautifully shot, but sometimes in these movies when they're not, I prefer the music a lot more when it's organic in the movie as opposed to this jarring thing that just happens out of whole cloth. And I know that's Indian cinema. I get it. I'm just telling you how I feel about it. So I gave it a 3. Overall, I'm going to give this, because I really did like it. It was fun to watch him, a much younger Aamir Khan. But I will give this movie a 4 because I did a lot of reading about this film, and a lot of Hindi actors and actresses love this film. In fact, that's something I wanted to bring up because there's a setting in Bahid, which is also a setting in Mirzapur. And then the other thing, there was a character named Yadvad in this film. And I know the CM in Mirzapur is named Yadvad. Now, is that a common name or is that somehow using something from this movie in that series? Let me know what you think in the comment section because that's not a name I've heard before. So when I heard the name, I was like, hey, I know that name. That's in Mirzapur. Um, so yeah, I really like this movie. I can see why people like it so much. And again, for me, it's like you look at a great actor who's just starting out, and you can tell they got something, and then now you've seen all their older films and you're like, look who this person's going to become. That's kind of how I felt. He was good. He was really good in this, but he wasn't the Aamir Khan in the films that I've seen where his performances are just like, for me anyway, way, way up there. So that was kind of neat to watch him at such a younger age. Um, so yeah. So I give it a 4. I really liked it. Okay. The next film is going to be an SRK film. I haven't narrowed it down yet. You guys have given me, I've narrowed it down to like 3. So I'm going to pick one. Obviously, I'm going to pick one that I can stream, that I don't have to have somebody send it to me or whatever. And then I'll do, I think there were 2 other questions on that. I'll do the other 2 questions. I'm also going to finish up Mirzapur, and then I'm going to watch 2 other series too that you guys have recommended. But I'm not going to do that till I finish watching Mirzapur because I really want to finish this. And it's killing me not to just watch it straight through because that's normally what I do when I watch shows. If all the episodes are out there, I'm just going to binge watch it. I'm trying not to do that so I can review a few of them at a time. I'm doing that for you. That alone should get you subscribed. Hit the notification button. Hit the smash button. Share it if you care. Share it. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. Okay, that's all I've got. Okay, I don't know if that was 10 minutes or probably a little more than that, but thank you for the recommendation. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. And look for Mirzapur. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna film tomorrow, and I'll get it out probably mid to end of the week. Okay. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will talk to you soon with another